Musical Monday Mornings with Joe. Good morning, just like old times. I'm actually getting a chance to drive somewhere, going to a funeral this morning. It's my job. But we're going to do things old school today. We're going to talk about a Jewish Broadway musical called Fiddler on the Roof, 1964, music by Jerry Bach, lyrics by Sheldon Harnick, producer Hal Prince, and choreographer, Jerome Robbins, and book by Joseph Stein. Now, it was based on Tevye and his daughters, and it was a tale called Tevye the Milkman, the Dairyman, and other tales by Shalom Aleichem. They were written in Yiddish between 1894 and 1914 about a Jewish life in a village in the settlement of Imperial Russia at the turn of the 20th century. And the stories are based on Aleichem's own upbringings near modern-day Kiev. So, very interesting. But it opened on Broadway September 22nd, 1964 at the Imperial Theater, moved in 1967 to the Majestic, which was longtime housing of Phantom of the Opera, another musical by Hal Prince. And then in 1970 to the Broadway Theater, ran for a record-setting total of 3,242 performances. It was the first ever Broadway musical to surpass 3,000 performances and held that record for about 10 years until Grease passed it. And it starred Zero Mostel as Tevye, and even starred got people their starts like B. Arthur as Yenta the Matchmaker, and a little bit down the line Bette Midler as Seitel. So yeah, it got 10 Tony Award nominations and won 9 out of the 10, including Best Musical, Zero Mostel, Best Lead, Best Choreography, Producer, Director, and the only one it did not win for was Scenery Design. In 1971, it hit Hollywood with the producer Norman Jewison, who wanted to bring it to the screen, and it starred Topol as Tevye. And the movie was reorchestrated by the legendary John Williams, whether you knew that or not. Now you do. It had 8 Oscars, but only won 3, and one of the Oscars won was for Williams' orchestrations. And there is now on Paramount Plus a documentary called Fiddler's Journey to the Big Screen. It's about a 2-hour documentary about the making of the movie into mainstream America. And it's a very interesting documentary if you like that sort of thing. I really much enjoyed it and recommend it. It had multiple revivals. 1976, December of 1976, it ran for 176 performances. Zero Mostel returned to the stage at the Winter Garden. In November of 1990, for about 241 performances, Topol revived his movie fame at the Gershwin. And one of the most recent was February of 2004 at the Minskoff for 781 performances, starred Harvey Fierstein as Tevye. Tradition. That's about the best Fierstein I give you. And Golda Rosie O'Donnell. In late 2019 and most recently in the fall of 2022, they brought out Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish. in the original Yiddish language, and it was pretty well acclaimed. So I'm going to give you the wonderful piece by Tevye, If I Were a Rich Man. Oh, dear Lord, you made many, many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. So what would it have been so terrible if I had a small fortune? If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty-bitty rich diddle-diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each out and bagak and honk would land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, yibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. If I were a bitty-bitty rich diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle man, I see my wife, my golden, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oi, what a happy mood she's in! Screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town would come to fawn on me. They would ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reb Tevye, pardon me, Reb Tevye, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Dibby-dibby-dibby-dibby-dibby-dibby-dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decree I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Thanks a lot. That's one of my favorites. It's a little bit long today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great Monday. God bless you all.